Hey guys, how's it going? I'm going to do a quick video today on replacing the alternator, or also known as a stator, on my Briggs & Stratton V-twin here. This is on my John Deere 145. I have a parasitic draw on this, so basically it would run fine when I'm using it, but after it sits for a week or two, it'll be completely dead. I have already replaced the voltage regulator. It's this right here, and I can put a part number down for that. I've got my multimeter. I'm gonna put it on the amp side. So if you disconnect the battery and you put your ammeter in between the two, you get whatever voltage is being drawn on it at the moment. So now right now it's showing 0 because I've kept the stator disconnected, which are these two wires coming out of here. And if I connect it up, you can see I have about 30 milliamps with it connected. Now, if you have a car, that's actually a reasonably good number to have. In a car, you have computers and clocks and radios and things that have a memory that will need to stay alive, and that's acceptable for a car. But for a riding mower, you really don't want anything. There's no need to have any draw at all. So I knew that basically the draw was, in the charging system, whether it be the voltage regulator or the stator. Since the voltage regulator is much easier to replace, I did that first. So I went ahead and got the genuine Briggs & Stratton part, put that on. Unfortunately, I've basically made my own connector for this. So when you're doing this, you would just have like a double pin connector that comes with these things. Unfortunately, I've had to modify mine. I forget exactly why. Try to get you where you're not completely in the sun. We're going to go ahead and replace that and hope that it works. It also wasn't really charging that well either. Let's see if we can start this up. It hasn't run for a couple of weeks. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my I'm going to put this back over to the volt side, and we're going to test it on volts AC, because the actual stator or alternator itself is putting out alternating current, I should say, AC. Let's see if I can show these in here. So right now the voltage regulator is disconnected. Let's see if this thing starts. So I don't know if you can see that, but it was putting out like 27 volts, 27 volts AC, which to me kind of low. I have to look up and see what the specs are, but I feel like it should be significantly higher than that, at least at full RPM. My other tractor, which also has issues with the charging system, I was getting, I think, at least 40 on that. And that one does charge and work like it should, but whenever I have any kind of a load on, that has like a battery light that'll light up. So that one isn't even as good as it should be, but it is at least working. Basically, the first thing we need to do is move my junk out of the way. I'm going to take the hood off just to get a little bit easier access to the front here. So I just disconnected my headlights, and this hood just pops right off. And we're just gonna use hand tools, I guess. I guess we can take a look at the new one here first. It should be in here. And what I usually do, this was actually like a new old stock on eBay. The part number in my case was 592830. They call it an alternator. So that's it right there. Looks like they give you new hardware, and they give you some instructions, which, you know, we don't need that. Yeah, this is the kind of connector that you'll get, and then the voltage regulator will have the other side of that. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to, I may see if I can find, if I kept the other half of the connector and just put it back on that side, so at least I don't have to modify this. But we'll get to that in a minute. But basically, the way I look up parts is I will find, usually on the valve cover on a Briggs and Stratton, or what, in this case, the left valve cover, there is the model number, which is in this case a 441777, and then you have the type, which is 0116E1. And I'll just basically go to like E replacement parts or something like that, and I'll search for that engine and then look up the part, and then I just go look on eBay, or because I mean this thing was like, I forget how much it was. I think it was like $86 on E replacement parts plus shipping. I was able to get that for I think like 50 something. So I saved like 30 bucks. It's a brand new part. It's just, it was like a private seller. It wasn't like a company selling it. The first thing you need to do is take the fan screen off, which these are, should be what, a 5/16? Yeah. All right, and once you've done that, you need to take the fan shroud off, which has some 3/8. Some of these don't have to come all the way out, but basically they just go all the way. Just kind of loosen these, and it should slide off of it. You just go around. There's a, looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. Whoops. There we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and try to take this off without messing with the coils or anything like that. That is an 1.25 inches, I think. Yeah, 1.25 inches. So I'm going to need an impact. My Snap-on impact has pretty much had it, or at least the battery doesn't stay tight. There we go. Now what we got to do is get the flywheel off, which can be a pain. I'm going to try to find some place if you can get in there. And I don't know if you can see it, but basically, like, there's a little bit of play. It actually seems like there's a lot of play in this one, but I can move the whole crank up a little bit. You kind of want to get up where it's up. So you're pushing the flywheel up, and then you're going to basically, I don't really want to hit the end of that, but I don't think I have a choice. It's not going to mess up the threads to put it back on or anything. Oops. Got it up, and then I'm going to hit it down. Where's my hammer? Just, there it is. There it goes. Just slide that off. And basically on the inside you got your magnets that alternate like north and south pole. And as it's spinning, it goes around that and generates electricity. Yeah, so this is it. And this, I mean, there's literal pieces falling off of it. So this definitely seems bad. All right, so these are 1/4 inch. I cannot find a 1/4 inch to save my life. So I'm doing it the right way and just using some vice grips. All right, so that's the old one. It looks pretty bad. It's like melted right there. So this is definitely is trash. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put it, you know, the wire faces down, basically go through this little, there's like a little notch over here. Let's see if I can slip this down through there. I don't think you can. All right, so we'll bolt it in place. Yeah, it fits right down where it's supposed to go. Oh, the new one actually has Phillips. Even better. It's got 4 Phillips head with separate washers. It kind of sits right down in like a groove, so you don't really have to worry too much about like cross, you know, tightening it, but I'm still going to do it anyway. I'm not going to just go around in a circle. I'll go do a crisscross. Just snug them down. When you have your cover off, it's always a good idea to kind of go through and blow out all your air passages while you're in there, because these are air-cooled engines and all this caked in dirt. It's actually really not that bad. This is actually just, these don't go through. Up here is actually already cleared out. I feel like the only thing I haven't replaced on this tractor is the actual engine, but I have, you know, replaced parts of the engine. This has about 1,000 hours on it, just for the record, I guess. So I mean, I don't know how long these things normally last as far as like the alternator is concerned, but I mean that's a pretty long time for a homeowner tractor. It's a lot of hours. I got it with just over 900, and the hydrostatic transmission was shot. There's videos of me rebuilding it on the channel. I will probably be putting this in the playlist for this John Deere 145, so you can take a look at other videos. All right, so unfortunately, to get this to go down through here, I think I'm gonna have to loosen these, there's Torx on this. So they are T30s. I'm gonna see if I can be lazy and just loosen the ones on this side. I don't think we need much space. We have to take this one all the way out. Yeah, this little guy over here. That's one of the fan cover bolts. But I think that's enough. All right, got that through. So basically, I just took this out, loosened these 2 T30s, and just kind of lifted this up. And I was able to get this to go through there like that. I've had this part for a couple weeks, and I've been putting it off, mainly because I didn't know how easily the flywheel was going to come off, but it wasn't that bad. Okay, so that is installed. We are going to, oh, I dropped my flywheel key right there. I actually have some new ones of these. I don't know if I should replace it or what. I guess it's fine. I don't really work on these enough, I guess, to know if there's like a trick to keeping that in place or anything. But you gotta make sure it's in there. do it like that. Yeah, I guess so. I guess as long as it's in there, it's good. I just had another John Deere, single cylinder John Deere, that I actually rebuilt the engine. It had like blown up the connecting rod. And when I got it all back together, I put this together and I sheared the flywheel key, and it was like 180 degrees out. Like everything seemed like it was cranking over fine and it had compression, but it was backfiring and popping and all that good stuff. I figured it out. Let's try to put things back the way they came apart. Torqued. So basically that's it. And then, you know, you're just gonna go ahead and put your fan shroud back on, which I'll go ahead and do, I guess. I'm not gonna connect this up just yet. I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do. I might try to put the right connector back on my voltage regulator. Yeah, you're just gonna try to get these all lined back up. Be a little bit of a pain sometimes. Yeah, not too bad this time. And then basically you're going to tighten those back up, put the 4 bolts back in your fan screen, and that's it. But I'm going to go ahead and stop right now, and we'll come back once I've figured out what I'm going to do over here. All right, guys, it's actually kind of hard to show you right now, this because of the way this connector is, as far as like putting the meter in and actually having you see the meter. But it's putting out 30 volts AC at full RPM. So I guess the number before wasn't really that bad. But when it's running and the PTO is engaged, I'm still charging at like 13.2 volts on here, which before it was not doing. It's stable. It's like staying there. It doesn't seem to be bouncing all around like it was before. So I'm happy with that. I think I want to just see what the parasitic draw is still with it connected. I scared my dogs because this thing backfired because I was like starting up and shutting it off a couple times. Yes, 0. Perfect. Just making sure we got a good connection. Yeah, we are at 0. Perfect. All right, cool. If you have a parasitic draw where your battery is dying, do what I just did, where you disconnect the cable and put your meter in. You probably want to do DC milliamps. You can do DC 10 amps first. That way, if it's a high draw, then you're not going to blow your fuse in this right away. But in most cases, I think you're fine to do the milliamp side. And you're just going to basically just, you know, connect one lead to the negative terminal. I'm sorry, the negative cable, and the other to the negative terminal. And if you're above 0, then you have a parasitic draw. And then you can just kind of go around and unplug things until that number drops to 0. I would think in almost every case it's going to be something to do with the charging system. So when I disconnected the stator from the voltage regulator, it dropped to 0. So the first thing that I did, because it's very easy, and I also knew it was questionable, was I did the voltage regulator. That didn't fix it. So then we went to the alternator, and that takes care of it. It's charging good, and it's also not drawing power when it's off. Thanks, guys. This is like my first actual video since I hit 1,000 subscribers. I really appreciate everybody that's subscribed. But let's go ahead and try to make them 2,000. So if you found this video helpful, hit the like button, leave me a comment if I did something wrong. That, you know, there's a lot of guys out there that actually watch my videos that are actually experts, or you know more than I do, and you comment. I do see those comments. I don't always respond, but I do appreciate that. If I did something wrong, go ahead and leave a comment. I'll flag the comments so people that watch this can actually see it. But yeah, so hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost anything. Just basically tells YouTube that I'm doing something right here, and you know, more people can see the video. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one.